13 of Nathan Schank, the 17W of Will Martyn, inside row number 2, the 13X Bruno Bianchi, 23 George Nielson, 83 Danny Potts, 154 Jared Morrison, back to row 4, 22Q and 2J David Prickett, and the 2J of Jenna Perkins. Then back to the 3 of Nick Robfogel, to his outside, the 7R of, who's that? That's Rick Alonso. Then the 1 of Jim Beck, 71 Scott McIntosh, 3 Charlie Emery, 16 Stasha McIntosh, and 14 Dolan McIntosh. Here come the 600s. Nathan Schank with the first call into turn number 1. Up around the outside goes Coors Gold's Will Martyn. Down to the bottom is Bruno Bianchi in 3rd, George Nielson 4th, side by side 5th and 6th, 3 wide Jared Morrison, Danny Potts down on the bottom, David Prickett looking to pick his way through in the 22Q, then the 3 of Robfogel, 2J Perkins, 1 up into the wall is Jared Morrison, off of turn 2, yellow, yellow, yellow. You see Will Martyn moving around in the car, talking to officials first on the scene. Yellow flag was out for the 154 of Jared Morrison over there in turn number 2. And as everybody's getting woed up, it looked like Martyn just climbed a wheel and got upside down here on the front straightaway. Good news from the scene. 19 to go for the Santa Rosa Auto Body 600s. Your leader, Nathan Schank over Bruno Bianchi, and Danny Potts in your top 3. Green flag is back out. Nathan Schank leads him into 1 and 2, but Bruno Bianchi way up to the top side's got a lot of momentum, and he goes up and around Nathan Schank, or does he? Schank fights back into turn number 3. He's working the bottom, and Bianchi's trying to make it happen on the top, but Schank holds him off. Schank, your leader. Bianchi takes the momentum up around the top side, trying to get around Nathan Schank. Can't make the pass. Nathan Schank still there. Up to 3rd. Now, well, actually, down to the bottom goes David Prickett. Problems for George Nielson. Prickett into 3rd. George Nielson off the pace. Will that bring out a yellow flag? Can he get it off the track is the question. As David Prickett goes around Bianchi into 2nd, yellow flag comes out. Yellow flag is out for George Nielson right there on the front straightaway in the 23. Looks like he lost power. He's looking down to the left side. That's where the chain is located there. Might have lost a chain. Nathan Schank continues to lead this after 3 laps are in the books. Bruno Bianchi, David Prickett, Danny Potts, Jim Beck round out the top 5 with 3 laps in the books, 17 to go. Fastest lap of the main event turned by your 3rd place car, David Prickett, 16.462. Keep an eye on the 22Q. To green, Prickett up there on the top side. Nathan Schank squirts away a little bit from Bruno Bianchi. Bianchi's got a great run. Climbs a wheel into turn 3. Nearly gets it up on its lid. Nathan Schank still there. Here comes Prickett up on the top side. David Prickett with all the momentum in the world goes right around the 14, but trips up a little bit off at 2. Nathan Schank fights back on the bottom. Schank committed to the bottom. Prickett working the top down the front straightaway. Schank still your leader. 5 laps in the books. Prickett now dives down under Schank. Schank wobbles a little bit off at 2. Down the backside, David Prickett goes to the point. But we've got a spinner over there in turn number 2. Yellow, yellow, yellow. The yellow came out at the worst possible time for David Prickett and the best possible time for Nathan Schank. And Schank will get back his spot at the front of tonight's A main event with 5 laps down. As we get ready to go back to green here at Petaluma, California, Nathan Schank, your leader. Here we go. Schank into turn number 1, goes down to the bottom because he remembers that Prickett passed him down there. Prickett and Potts Together they bang wheels off at turn 2. Schank is still there on the front end. Green flag is back out and we got a lap in. 6 down now, 14 to go. Prickett's got a run on Schank and sticks a right rear wheel almost into the cockpit. They keep going and we stay green. David Prickett takes the lead over Nathan Schank. Here comes Jim Beck to the bottom. Beck underneath Prickett off of turn 4. We've had 3 different leaders in about a lap. Thrown it down at the front, almost 4 wide into turn 1. Beck on the outside, Potts down to the bottom. Prickett in the middle, your top 3 into 3 and 4 as 1. Up on the top side goes Beck, Potts going down to the bottom. Prickett back to 3rd, Schank is 4th. 8 laps down, Bianchi up to 5th. 12 to go, we got another new leader as Prickett spins it out. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Jim Beck's first year driving a 600 is this year in 2015, an outlaw kart competitor for a while. Also a cowboy, he rides bulls. The screw officially loose at Jim Beck's car. Green flag is back out. Nathan Schank takes a look underneath Danny Potts as Jim Beck squirts away a little bit. Schank loses the rear end, loses some ground to Danny Potts. Potts working the middle of the track. Beck's down at the bottom. Schank is 3rd, then Bianchi, then Perkins having a good run. She's up to 5th. Jim Beck is your leader down the backside. Danny Potts trying to close in. Working his way up through the pack again. David Prickett has picked up 3 spots. He's up and around the outside of Rick Alonso. 11 laps are down. We got a drag race down the front straightaway for the lead. Danny Potts taking a look underneath him. Slider coming up around the outside goes Jim Beck. Side by side down the backside. 1 and 2 goes Beck and Potts. Potts with the slider attempt. He stays down at the bottom actually. Beck fights back on the top side. But your leader on lap number 12 is Danny Potts. We stay green. Looks like we've got yet another leader. Danny Potts has taken the lead. Jim Beck trying to get down underneath Potts now. As Beck goes to the bottom, Potts is down there as well. And Potts opens up a little bit, 4 or 5 car lengths down the front straightaway. Nathan Schank, a solid 3rd right now. Bruno Bianchi is 4th. 5th is Nick Robfogel back up from the back. He spun out earlier. Here comes David Prickett underneath Robfogel. And Prickett picks up another spot. He's 5th. Stasha McIntosh has got her fuel cell up in the air. That can't be good. As Prickett comes up on the pair of Bianchi and Schank. Up around the outside goes Prickett. Prickett goes around McIntosh, goes around Bianchi, and is back up into the 3rd spot. Here comes David Prickett from the back. 15 laps down, 5 to go. He's probably going to need a yellow to catch the front 2. But Prickett's making an effort in the 22Q as Danny Potts clicks off lap number 16. 4 laps to go. It looks like Jim Beck has thrown in the towel trying to catch him. He can't. Potts is his race to lose unless Prickett can pull something out of his hat in about 3 laps as Prickett's up to 3rd. Down the backside goes Danny Potts. Jim Beck about 10-15 car lengths back, an equal amount of distance back to David Prickett. 18 laps down. White flag out next time by for Danny Potts out of Petaluma. Into turn 3 and off of turn 4. Danny Potts is 3/8 of a mile away from winning his first 600 main event here at Petaluma Speedway. He's into turn 1 and off of 2. He's straight, he's strong, and he's into turn 3. 1 turn left to negotiate for Danny Potts off of turn number 4. Potts wins at Petaluma. 2nd to Jim Beck. 3rd to David Prickett. 4th to Bruno Bianchi. Nick Robfogel 5th. Nathan Schank a good 6th. Jenna Perkins was 7th. Rick Alonso, Dolan McIntosh, and Stasha McIntosh was 11th. But your winner is the 83 of Danny Potts. 83, 1, 22Q, 13X, and 3, your top 5.